A man in England was recently convicted for praying silently outside an abortion clinic. This has got my blood boiling. You've got to check this out. Last week, an Army veteran and father of three was found guilty of praying silently in a large abortion buffer zone in England and fined the equivalent of $11,700, Alliance Defending Freedom UK reported. Adam Smith Connor could face jail time under the conditional discharge the court granted if he commits the same crime within the next 2 years. This is a legal turning point of immense proportions. A man has been convicted today because of the content of his thoughts, his prayers to God on the public streets of England, his attorney said. We can hardly sink any lower in our neglect of basic fundamental freedoms of free speech and thought. We will look closely at the judgment and are considering options to appeal. Human rights are for all people, no matter their view on abortion. Here's a video clip that this man recorded as the police were talking to him.
We just wanted to sort of come over to say hello in the first instance, but
Sure.
also just inquire into your activities for today.
Well, I'm praying.
Just for your awareness, you are in an area which is governed by a public space protection order. I don't know if you're aware.
I am aware.
Of that public space protection
Yes.
order. They also call it a safe zone. There are signs located in the area just to make you aware of that and the area where certain activities are prohibited.
Sure. Yes.
In terms of that, can I ask what is the nature of your prayer today?
What is the nature of that? I'm praying for my son.
I don't want to pray, but I don't want to sort of ask you to
Yeah.
elaborate on that. But
Sure.
at the same time, it would be remiss of me to sort of not mention the, like I say, the area of the activity.
Sure.
In terms of that, there is a clause within the public space around prayer.
Yes.
And around in terms of disapproval around the activities that the clinic in.
Right.
As I say, whilst I don't want to probe as to the reasons you are praying for your son, it obviously is perhaps pertinent to the area that you are in, and like I said, the PSPO and legislation around that.
Well, I'm praying for my son. He's deceased.
I'm very sorry to hear.
Thank you.
Okay. So, again, I'm sorry for your loss, but ultimately I have to go along the guidelines of the public space protection order.
Right.
They say that we are in the belief, therefore, that you are in breach of clause 4A that says about prayer and also acts of disapproval around the activities at the clinic.
I'm just standing praying.
I understand that, but the PSPO is in place for a reason. We do have to follow through on those regulations.
This man was fined $11,700 for praying silently on the street. And he could face jail time if he does it again. He is not the only one, though. Check this out. Pro-life activist Isabel Vaughan Spruce was arrested in Birmingham in December for violating a similar law. When asked by authorities what she was doing near an abortion facility, she replied that she might have been praying. She was asked to go to a police station for questioning and was arrested when she refused. A third UK resident, Rosa Layler, was arrested in 2021 for prayer walking silently outside an abortion clinic in the city of Merseyside. Her arrest was based on alleged violations of COVID-19 protocols against protesting, though she was outdoors, socially distanced, and masked, rather than a PSPO, which is the law. Police later dropped the charges. These incidents represent a new frontier in the assault on religious liberty, according to ADFI. For Christians, the right to freedom of speech is crucial because it is the very right that allows us to freely share the gospel, and given the very clear mandate of the Great Commission, Christians of all people should be spearheading the defense of the right to freedom of speech. Adam and Isabel's cases provide the clearest evidence that society's failure to robustly protect the frontiers of free speech has resulted in the state machinery now feeling emboldened to interfere with our most basic right, freedom of thought. And by the way, this isn't about the doorstep of the clinic, Buffer zones censor the area of approximately a football stadium, covering multiple streets. Here's a map of the area where the abortion-related prayer is banned in Bournemouth. In the UK, the path ahead for religious liberty could be bleak, unless basic human rights are re-emphasized. We are seeing the growing enforcement of progressive culture and viewpoint uniformity by threat of criminal prosecution. This is the first step on a very bleak path. I encourage you to pay attention to what's happening in Europe. They are a little ways down the road from where we are as a country in the US. Ideas have consequences, and if we want to keep our freedom, we cannot just let some people take care of that. The burden is on us all.